I knew from the beginning that something was like different, with that story. That's why I really didn't want to get like involved in it from the beginning, you know. So how you feel about the 4-year-old in Hampton missing?
I just thought it was weird. 2 o'clock in the morning, they say he had put on his flip flops and went outside. I'm like, once he went outside and felt that cold air, he was coming back in the house. So
Right.
thought something wasn't right with that. But I'm just at a loss for words. That it's been what, almost 48 hours now, 2 days, and they haven't found him.
The last news report was 57 hours buried. It done grew now to 57 hours that baby been missing. Did you know what was it at I just was doing a story on it. I get the words right in a minute. But we had another young lady, she just had a baby too. She had a baby by this guy. Allegedly, he had an affair with her. She was 27 years old. And he didn't want her to have the baby. It's her first baby. She's 27 years old. Okay. So this is her first baby. So it took a long time for her to get pregnant. She had a baby and everything. She's released from the hospital. And last thing she tell her mother is that she's going to get some shots. She was never seen or heard from again. The next time her mother heard from her, the detectives were knocking on her door saying that, asking her what type of car do her daughter drive. And when they told the detectives what kind of car her daughter drive, they said the car has been found down the street and it was under investigation because a shooting has happened. When they found out it was the lady that was 27, guess what? Her baby was missing. Baby was only 2 days old, and I just got the report into the newsroom that they just found the baby deceased as well. So they have now charged her boyfriend with 2 counts of murder. He allegedly murdered her and his baby.
That's what I was saying. That's the baby's fault. And so you'd have thought
that's allegedly supposed
that he would have learned from Ray Caruth, the football player from years ago.
Right. They don't learn. He didn't learn. And now, they say he was married, but instead of him have to worry about telling his wife he got a baby outside the marriage, now he got to tell the judge, explain to the judge, he got 2 murder charges. And that happened. If somebody can drop down for me where that happened at, because right now I'm having a brain fart. I've been writing all day and texting about it. Good afternoon, guys. And I was waiting for each and every last one of you guys to get tuned in to the Rodeo Young Live show. I do have Barry Randall here with me from the beautiful city of Portsmouth, Virginia. Barry, good afternoon. How you doing tonight?
All right, and yourself?
I'm doing well. I really want to thank you for reaching out to the Rodeo Young Live show and say, hey, Rhoda, I would like to talk to you about about the post I made today. A lot of people know that you made a post last night. We had a major shooting in Portsmouth last night. And you made a post, but it went down really quick. What was going on when you made that post last night?
Well, and actually, Rhoda, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, you did a post and then you took the post down." First of all, whenever I do a post, I don't take posts down. I stand by anything that I write. A lot of people, just like how they sent you the post, people reported the post to Facebook. And I guess because it had shooting in it, Facebook said that I had violated their community standards. So Facebook took the post down. But anyway, yesterday evening, I had got a phone call and they were saying that, see, we told you that festival that's coming to the Sportsplex don't need to come to the Sportsplex because we have some gang violence going on at the Sportsplex. And I said, what you talking about? They said some people, actually yesterday at the time, they said 2 people were killed, but it was only one person. And they said it was gang violence. How people assumed that it was gang violence, I don't know. But Rhoda, what I was not going to do, I was not going to demonize the victim because at the end of the day, that young man is someone's child, someone's sibling, someone maybe even a father. And I was not going to assume or get on the bandwagon and call him a gang member. And that's what people wanted me to do. I just thought it was strange that after the last week, since we voted, I am the vice chair of the Portsmouth Parks and Recreation Department. And prior to us voting for that 420th festival to be able to come to Portsmouth, my phone had been ringing off the hook from various individuals asking me to vote no for that festival to come to Portsmouth. And I just thought that it was strange, Rhoda, that a shooting, a murder would happen right there at the Sportsplex. So what I posted last night was, and I posted it first of all, and I do apologize to the family because I'm sure it was a little insensitive, but I didn't say anything disrespectful because I didn't even know anyone was killed at the time. I just knew that it was a shooting, and I said, for any person to think that they're going to sabotage this festival by shooting at the Sportsplex, it's not going to happen. That's all I said pretty much. And I'm paraphrasing. And then someone called me today and said, you need to go to Rhoda Young Live's page because Rhoda is starting a petition against you. And I said, Lord, what I done now? And I read the post, and Saran hit me up, and I said, Saran, call Rhoda and tell her that is not what's going down. In reference to me, I was not being insensitive to that family, but these people wanted me to demonize that young man and say that that man was in a gang. Nobody knows that man was in a gang.
Oh, so Saran called you. You didn't call Saran.
No. Saran called me because she saw the post and she was like, what is going on? And I said, I already know what's happening. I said, yeah, I know.
Okay. That's weird. Yeah, because I always, Pastor, and you know how much I love you, but even though I love you, I always got to get you sometimes, and but I don't try to be mean. I do have to approach you, and you never hold an attitude. I never forget what you told me in the city council meeting. You told me yourself out your own mouth. You said, Rhoda, people love you and your reporting of the news until you knock on their front door.
Exactly.
And I never would ever forget what you told me because I thought you were going to be mad at me because I did a post on you before. You said, no, that's your job. That's your job.
Let me tell you this, Rhoda. And Jermaine Green, he is one of the, I believe, sponsors of the 420th Festival. About 6 years ago, Jermaine Green, he was, I guess, the original Rhoda Young. He has not arrived. Nobody has arrived to your level of influence. There's only one Rhoda Young, and I'm not saying that the
it is what it is.
It is what it is. We all have our lane. But back then, Jermaine Green had the Jermaine Green Live. And Jermaine Green had some people on his show, and these guys came up there. I had ran for mayor, and these people came on his show, and they had said that I was getting high and I was using drugs. And I was so hurt because I'm like, it's one thing when people say something about you that's the truth. Most time we get angry because we don't know our business. But when people start telling lies about you, that's really hurtful. So a lot of people were calling me because they was like, how you gonna support Jermaine in this aspect when he did that live about you 5 or 6 years ago and allowed those people to come on his show and lie about you. And I told the people this: I was appointed to serve the citizens of Portsmouth, not Jermaine Green, not Rhoda Young, not Jim Blow or this person over here. We can never hold things personal. And I was hopeful that Jermaine has grown, has matured. He and I have never had a conversation. When I see Jermaine, it's, hey, how you doing? It's, hey, how you doing? He has never reached out to me. And I laughed because I thought to myself, I said, I bet you he thinks that I'm going to vote against this festival coming. But the reality is this: I was never going to put myself in a position to take it personal to get a get back moment. The city manager gave 10 things that she told them they had to do. And I had already made up in my mind that if they did not uphold the 10 things that the city manager told for them to do, then I was going to vote no. My
Okay.
job as the vice chair is to make sure that the elderly and the youth, especially, and the citizens at large, recreation department is being done right. And because they came and did a presentation and they did all the 10 things that the city manager asked them to do, I put forth a motion that night for us to go forward with allowing them to bring this festival. Now, whether or not they make money, whether or not the artists show up, that is not our business, because we're not there to get into their day-to-day operations, or whether or not Rick Ross is going to show up, or whether or not Gucci Man is really coming, or the City Girls is really going to come and twerk for everybody. The reality is, did they not do the 10 things that the people said? So when people say Barry Randall has sold out and what have you, Jermaine, y'all owe me some money, because ain't nobody paid me nothing. Nobody has had a conversation with me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm
Right,
just
right.
job. And then, excuse me, I'm also the Civic League president for Brighton and Prentice Park. So
Right.
now, when the shooting happened last night, my phone was ringing from the residents of that community saying, we don't want it. You know, at least 4 or 5 people, not a lot, but 4 or 5 different people saying, hey, we don't want the festival because now the murders are happening. So, like I said, Rhoda, my suspicions are starting to say, hey, is somebody trying to sabotage this? You know what I mean? Like, of all
Right,
the
right.
places, why would a murder happen at the sportsplex, a recreation center?
That's a good question. I'm glad that you asked that. Right now, we want to know, why do y'all have so many murders in y'all city? Um, we want to know that there's no safe place in Portsmouth, Virginia right now. You know,
Mm.
normally when it's crime committed in a city, you normally can pinpoint, if I may, normally can pinpoint the area where the highest crime is. But from what we're seeing in Portsmouth, Virginia, the crime rate is all across Portsmouth. Y'all have not one safe place in Portsmouth. Like, it's not like you can go downtown. You know that where they're not shooting downtown, because just the other day y'all had over 4 carjacking. It ain't like you can go over there to Victory Crossing and be safe, because you know we had shootings at Walmart parking lot. Now we got shootings at the sportsplex, and also multiple shootings in the low income neighborhoods. Our question to you, as the vice chairman, on the on a recreational board, why would y'all be considering or allow someone to consider to have a festival of that size, knowing that Portsmouth, Virginia is totally out of control at this moment?
And that's a great question. Listen, first of all, I commend anyone that will want to bring anything to Portsmouth. Because first of all, we're locked in by tolls. Let's think about it like this. We are locked in by tolls. So who's coming to Portsmouth? Folk just not coming to Portsmouth. Let's be honest, Rhoda. You come to Portsmouth to cover stories. You don't
Right,
get in your nice big truck and say, I'm going to Portsmouth to go out to eat. You don't get in
right,
your truck and say, I'm going to Portsmouth because I want to buy me an outfit. We don't have anything over here for you to go shopping at. There's no recreation like talking about it. That is why when I was appointed to be on the Parks and Recreation department, I gladly accepted, because I'm trying to bring our recreation department up to par. Because first of all, we charge our adults $20 a year to use our recreation facilities. And then when you go in there, you have a few ping pong tables and some basketball goals. That's unacceptable. 2, the reason why I was a proponent of allowing this festival to come, because do you all not know the type of revenue we're going to get from this? And I
good
like,
question, good statement. Can I ask you that?
yes.
The money that's going to be made from this festival, we as the people want to know, is the money going back from this festival is going to be going to the city of Portsmouth, Virginia, or is the money from this festival going to private investors?
Well, I mean, with anything, let's be honest. You know, people put on shows and things to make money. So, yes, they're going to make some money, but the city is going to make some money off of this festival. If this festival is successful the way that they have it, they're going to carve out 1,800 parking spaces. Parking will go from $20 to $60 a parking space. So you do the math at just the low end of $20 times 1,800 spaces. That money goes to the city. You're looking at about 3% taxes on all those tickets. And if you go to their website and you see what those tickets are starting at, those ticket prices are starting at what, $200? So look
One want to ask you guys, y'all talking about all that parking. How much danger are y'all putting in people that's coming to the festival in? And that y'all have carjackings right now of Uber drivers and Lyft. Them people got to walk to the festival. How safe is it going to be for them paying $20 all the way down the street to get to the festival and may get robbed or shot trying to walk down the street?
Oh, so listen, the walking, that's people's choice. These people came through with a full comprehensive plan to where people that will be parking at shopping centers away, they will be bused to the festival. That's first of all, they will be bused to the festival, but the parking will be on site. And on top of that, they will be, I don't say we, they will be having the Portsmouth Sheriff Department, the Portsmouth Police Department, and they will also be having outside security. And then once I found out about the shooting last night,
Okay.
as the president of the Brighton Prentice Park Civic League, I reached out to them to say, hey, I also would recommend that you all hire a private security firm to have patrolling done in the neighborhoods. I would feel comfortable if we have patrol cars of security firms patrolling the Brighton Prentice Park neighborhoods while this festival is going on. And we
have another question coming in from the newsroom. The people want to know. These are questions that the people want to know. Okay. Y'all call it the 20-ish festival, but y'all telling us, but y'all telling us it's going to be no weed smoking allowed at the festival. So why are y'all naming the festival after a weed concert?
Well, the reason why I was going to interject, because remember, I am on the city side. I'm not a part of 420-ish festival.
Okay.
And according to line item number 9 from the city manager's office, a plan to ensure that the consumption of cannabis will not be permitted on city-owned property. So again,
but y'all having a rate. But y'all allowing the festival on the second day to be a reggae festival, and everybody know a reggae festival consists of weed.
Right. Well, that is a question I'm sure that you all would have to ask the promoters of this concert. They have assured us that they will have security in place to ensure that people will not be walking around on the city property smoking marijuana. Now, whether or not
we get it now. So they can stand in somebody's front yard and smoke their weed as long as they're not standing on the city property.
Well, they're not going to be allowed to do that. I can assure you, because again, I am the civic league.
But it's kind of weird that y'all approve a festival that's named after weed, a 420-ish festival. That means smoke, and then y'all having a reggae concert, and but y'all approved it, but y'all say no smoking weed, and the whole festival is really based around getting high.
Well, remember, Rhoda, my purpose of this interview is because of the comment that I made about the Sportsplex in reference to their festival. You would have to reach out to them directly. And I would hope that you would do that so that you can get some clarity to those questions. Because again, I do not see them allowing people to go in people's yard, because at the end of the day, if you all drive on Portsmouth Boulevard, the Sportsplex is behind the gate. So the people's houses are
far away. It's really far away. Yeah, it's really far away. So, but this is I smoke weed, so I'm not against weed. I do smoke weed. After we get off live, I will be puff passing by myself. So, but these are the questions
you'll just be puffing.
I'll be just puffing, you know. Right. But these are the questions that the resident of Portsmouth wants to know. Right. Also, why did you consider with that, since you are part of Park and Recreation, why did you consider saying yes, it's okay that they had this type of festival?
Like I said, because we need the revenue. Listen, all of you all, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I live my life by this mantra. And I know you can't please people, and somebody's going to read this because somebody said to me earlier, oh, I read your comment and I know everything I need to know about you. What people think about me is none of my business. So after you see this comment and see this interview, you know, how you feel about me, that's none of my business. But if you live outside of Portsmouth and you have a comment, not Rhoda, because she's a journalist, so we welcome her into Portsmouth. But for those of you all that don't pay taxes in the city of Portsmouth, I'm not even concerned about your opinion here. I'm concerned about the residents of Portsmouth and how they feel. If you look at what we have in Portsmouth, we don't have much for these children. And any dollar amount, listen, right here, I have, these people are going over and beyond. When they leave our fields, they have committed on the lower end. If nothing is done wrong to our fields, they have committed $18,000 in repairs to our field, upwards of $186,000. We need this. You know why? Because we don't have this in our budget to do it anyway. This is what I told the director. It's called concessions. So when everybody talking about they're coming and they're going to tear up the fields, you know what I told them? If they tear it up, make them fix it up. Okay. When they come, make them make our fields better than it was before they got there. You understand what I'm saying? When
I understand.
When you go to Virginia Beach, these people, their residents don't have to go to the YMCA. They don't have to go to these places. You know why? Because their rec centers have everything they need. When you go to a Portsmouth rec center, you have ping pong tables, a pool table. That's why the folks are out there shooting and killing and robbing and stealing and hijacking Uber vehicles and pizza delivery. These young boys aren't even doing the time. You're getting about 10 years for conspiracy. You're getting about 10 years for the hijacking and 5 years for carrying a gun. Those boys that did those jobs the other day, they looking at about 30 years each, and they ain't even killed nobody. So if we don't do the necessary work that's needed, then we don't have nothing for these boys to have. And then we have and then Rhoda, you asked a good question. Why do we have the crime and all this stuff we have in Portsmouth? Portsmouth is over 52% black. We have a predominantly black city. Everything black. The city council black. The chief black. City manager black. Everything black. And who's dying in the street? Our black sons and daughters.
Let's go there. Let's go there. I'm glad you made that point. Do you think let's make this clear. You're not on the city council board. You're on Park and Recreation. Do you think the city councilman board and the mayor of Portsmouth is doing a good enough job with combating, or at least trying to come up with some type of resolution far as all this violence? Personally,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Listen, we have council members that will sit up there and tell you what the white man is doing to the black man. They sit up there and tell you what's happening to the black man, but you don't see these black council members coming out there telling these black men that they need to stop. See, let me tell you something, Rhoda. This is why I watch and follow stuff. They will love. They don't want to see what you and I doing. See, they want you to carry me. They want you to drag me around Portsmouth. They want me to go on my show and drag you. See, people in the black community, they love us fighting each other, but they don't want to see us coming together. Because, see, if we can come together, see, that's why I watched your show that day when you called Wavy and they didn't know that you were still on the phone and you was listening in and they was talking about you. But see, they're talking about you because they're jealous of your influence and you didn't go to school to get what they have. See, you got what they have and they had to go to school to get it. And you didn't go to school to get what they have. And see, we'll sit here and we'll talk about each other. I was sexually assaulted, and these people sat up here and joked and lied. And what did I tell you in the council chambers? See, I'm very transparent with mine.
Very much so.
Think about me. What do people say? Oh, he just mad because they want a man that played with his butt. What I tell you, Rhoda? I said, even if it was a man, I wanted a man to play with my butt. He needed permission.
That's it. What you say? You say if you wanted a man to play with it, he needed permission. You said that.
Go around violating people. See, that's problem in our community. We want to keep tearing each other down. We don't want to promote each other. And see, that's why I was able to do what I did. Even you, regardless of what you have to do with your job, if you need me tomorrow, I'm going to be there. I don't care what Jermaine did, said, ran me down, had people lie on me. I'm going to do what's right. These people that write posts, say little ugly things about me, a lady dragged me on Facebook and needed her rent paid and looked like crap when it was me that had to help her pay her rent.
Right.
Because
come through, Pastor.
This is how I was raised.
Come through, Pastor.
20, 30 years from now, when I'm in my 60s and 70s, I don't want to get Alzheimer's and cancer and colon cancer because how I was nasty and how I treated people and how I dogged people. We sitting around trying to figure out why things happening to us. The reason why things happening to us because the way we treating people. We talking about why these black boys can't handle each other in a respectful manner. Why we can't handle each other. Why we got to destroy each other. Why we want to see each other hurt. Why we got to be ugly to each other, why we can't disagree and still be respectful to each other. We don't even know people and want to see people die and see people hurt. We don't even never even been in a person's presence and want to see a person hurt. Something wrong
Pastor,
with that.
can I ask you this? Pastor Randall, Pastor Randall, can I ask you this? Do you think the city of Portsmouth, Virginia needs some diversity in it when it comes to like the city councilman board? Do you think the city councilman board is just too black?
We need diversity. We need love. All them jokers up there, they black. They don't even like each other. They all trying to get paid. They trying to see how well they can go. Don't realize there is enough money out here for everybody. Why you think, Rhoda? And I understand, again, you got to do what you got to do. Because if you only do shows with people you like, you're not a good journalist. You're not doing your job because you got to ask the questions. So that's why I'm never going to get mad with you. Because if you only do good stuff I'm doing, then you're showing a bias. You can't be biased and call yourself a journalist. People are mad because Jermaine Green, Lakeisha Clue Ackerson, and all these other folk, Teresa Lucas, and I don't know the other people that's backing it, they drank the same what is it? Lead water that half these Negroes and drank, grew up in the projects like them, and they doing something, and they trying to figure out, well, why them?
Wow.
That's what it boils down. Because if Jermaine and them was smart and Clue and them was smart, they should have hired a white firm to do the same thing, and you wouldn't even have all this foolishness that you got.
Wow. So if they were hid in the background and not show the people that they was black and a white person allegedly do the festival, it would have went on smooth sailing.
It would have went smooth sailing. People would have been like, oh yes, we need this for Portsmouth. Portsmouth needs some light at this dark black tunnel. But because it's them. See, you got to understand something. When people don't like you, they will envy you. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I watch people that watch your live and talk trash about you. Then if they don't like you, why they watching you? It's watching nobody I don't like.
Me either. I ain't got time to watch somebody I don't like.
I don't have the time to follow, support, and that's why I try to tell people, if you don't like me, why are you following everything I say and do?
Right.
Well, that's what all this is about. Pharrell could have did the same thing in Portsmouth, Virginia, and everybody would have been like, oh, let's give Pharrell a chance. We need this in Portsmouth. We need this in Portsmouth.
But Pastor, let me say this as well. I have to touch and agree with you saying that I am the #1 news reporter. I am one of the #1 promoters out here. And what you saying that I have noticed that people will want to use me for free, but they will never want to invest in me because of the fact they don't want to see me grow. So what and I had to accept that. You know what I'm saying? I had to accept that people will say, oh, they will wait till the last day of their event and be forced to come to me and say, brother, we can't sell our tickets. Can you help us? I'm gonna have to start turning around, turning my back and saying no, because if you can't use me when you plan your event, you're not gonna use me at the end of your event and try to save you when you can sell your tickets. And then everyone come calling on Rhoda, can you help us push these tickets? We got 1 week and we're on the stove 50 tickets. We got to get 500 tickets out. I'm going to stop letting people disrespect me.
You know what it is? Because people want applause, they don't want booze. But in life, if you want the applause, you got to also take the booze because we don't do everything right. I'm a pastor, but I don't say everything right. I don't do
Right.
everything right. So I have to take the criticism as well as the applause. I met with the city manager about a month ago, right before the New Year's, and she and I talked about some great things that the city has going on. And I looked at her and I said, "Well, why the citizens don't know about this?" And she said, "Barry, I don't know. We got to figure out a way to get this out." You call Angel Jones and ask her what Barry Randall told her. I said, "You need to hire Rhoda Young to get this information out to the public." I said, because she has people that will follow her so that the public will know that there's money out here for you to start a business in the city of Portsmouth that Portsmouth will give you. It's not a lot. Well, who can't use $2,000, $2,500,
Right.
$500 to start your business? And you can get that information. I'm going to always do that because you get blessed by supporting and pushing others. I'm blessed from right here to the bottom of my feet, and I'm gonna continue to be blessed from right here to the bottom of my feet. There's nobody that I don't have the ear of, and that's because it's the favor of God on my life.
Come on, Pastor, come through. Pastor, let me ask you this, and I'm gonna slow us down before we go. And I promise you we won't be here long. And I want to first apologize for the ones that tuned in to this show who thought we was coming here to drag not each other through the mud, because we never drag each other through the mud, but we were gonna come here and drag other people through the mud. We're not for that life. If it was something, Pastor, you can say to your community about our youth killing each other on a daily basis, what would you say to our youth that's shooting every night in Portsmouth, Virginia?
First of all, I will start with us before I would even say anything to them. We can't continue to tell them to stop and put the guns down, and we won't put our keyboard down. If I can go on Facebook and drag you and talk about you and say I wish you died, and you're gonna lose your truck and you're gonna lose your house, and I hope your man give you AIDS, and I hope you die, and you this and you that, and your house ain't yours and your hair ain't yours. And if I can be hateful and spiteful and say that, then how can we expect them to look at us and follow and not follow our example? Children lead by example. You understand what I'm saying? They looking at us and they see that we're on social media killing each other. See, we're not pulling triggers, but we're using our mouth and we're using our keyboards and we're dogging each other and we're saying hateful things to one another, all for likes. And we're doing it because it makes us feel good. It makes us feel good. And let me tell you something. I'll never want to shine off of somebody else's light going out. I'll never want to feel good off of making somebody else feel humiliated, because at the end of the day, everybody matters. I don't care who you are, what you don't have, where you come from. Every last one of us matter. And that's where it starts at. The gang members are not going to do a truce and a treaty until we do a truce and a treaty. And until we can sit down in the same room and have a conversation and not understand that we may not agree on everything, but we ain't got to hate each other. You understand what I'm saying? And we got to support each other. And so I support everybody. I cook. I support everything that everybody doing. I buy tickets to stuff that I don't go to. I buy product that I don't use. You know why? Because I know what it was to one day needed somebody else's help and support. And everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs someone's support and someone help. Is somebody looking to be the next Rhoda Young? I look and I see young girls posting stuff and doing stuff and going live and trying to do this. And I see guys trying to do this. I was at the game last night and I had my mask on, and the guy came up. He said, "I know who you are. You the people's pastor." And I just smiled at him. He said, "I follow you and I look at you and this, that. People are watching us. So what are we putting out there?" So if we're not going to uphold to a standard and walk in integrity and walk in love and not try to get a dollar, why we mad with them because they selling dog food? Why we mad with them because they selling caps and what have you? And we out here doing the same thing, trying to get over and trying to get ahead to get a dollar, and we out here dogging people and what have you, and then we looking at them telling them to put the guns down, but we won't even put our keyboard down.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Words do hurt. They say sticking stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
That's a
That was
lot.
an old lie. That was an old lie from back in the days. Words do hurt. Be mindful what you say to people. Thank you, Pastor, for coming here and clearing the air about, that stop trying to make anything out of something. And we're gonna ask you personally, do you think the festival is gonna be a great place for us to come to this spring?
Yes, I do believe it is. I desire it to be great. I want it to be great because if it's great, then they can continue happening. And then guess what? Our children can get the recreation centers that they deserve. I refuse to continue paying $20 every year and we can't even go there. I have a YMCA membership.
I'm confused about that. I was with the recreational centers for a long time, even before the shooting last night at the rec center. With the kids being so disobedient, I don't think it's even good no more to get recreational centers because, like, for example, last night, what if we start back? It would never go back to where we used to be. And we're going to build these recreational centers and they're going to come in there, shoot up our kids and stuff like they did last night. Well, how you feel about that, Pastor?
Well, the thing of it is, listen, if you notice, Rhoda, a lot of people are starting programs for children. No one is doing nothing for these adults. I've been a proponent of saying this for a long time. We need some mentors for these adults. A lot of people don't know how to be good adults. They don't
Right.
know. You understand what I'm saying? So we can take a child and we can take him out of his house and put him in a program and help him. And then we drop him back off at home in a dysfunctional household. Mama don't like
Right.
daddy. Daddy don't like mama. Daddy
Right.
ain't there. Mama ain't there. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So of course, we have to have these outlets because unfortunately, the scripture says, how many of you have 99 sheep and lose one, and 100 sheep and one go astray, you will not leave the 99 to go after the one. Our job as people is to always help the one. We may not reach everybody, but we have to help that one child. That one person that get it, that one person that is able to leave this city and do something with their life. And even with what you got going on, Rhoda, always look to inspire that one young lady. Of course, you're looking to inspire hundreds and thousands, but make sure that you make an impressionable mark upon that one and let that one know you can do this. You can make it out of Granby Park. You can make it out of Rod Park and do something with your life.
Let me ask you this too, Pastor. Since I am I'm not a big cannabis user, but I do use it on a daily basis. I can't wait to smoke my bud after we get off this live and get my Heineken. I'm not serious about that thing. Why y'all don't want us to smoke weed at the festival if it is legal now here in Virginia? Why we can't smoke weed? What's the big thing of us not being able to smoke weed when Virginia has legalized weed?
So, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, it is not legal to smoke it in public yet.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's the issue that we run into. So, you all need to call Don Scott. I heard he's your lawyer. He's also mine. So, you need to call Don Scott. You need to call Senator Louise Lucas, and you need to wear them out with that. What's the problem? If it's legal, like you say, which it is, why can't people smoke it in public? What's the problem? You understand what I'm saying? And I
Right.
agree. And I think they named it the 420 Festival simply because it's around the time of April the 20th, 420. So
Okay.
that's why they did that. But I'm hopeful that you will reach out to them and get them on and put them in the hot seat and ask them
Yes.
these questions and what have you. But Portsmouth, if you guys go out and buy those tickets, our children will be able to get some good revenue off of this. I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm not playing games with y'all.
Well, Mr. Barry or Randall, yes, Battle's ticket for the 420th festival. But what you need also to go back is to the promoters and tell them they use me for everything else. Why Rhoda Young Live is not part of the 420th festival? Why haven't they? No. So why they're not using me as the leading Black person in our community? Why have they overlooked me? See, it starts with them as well. You see what I'm saying? Like, Black don't really give back to black. You know what I'm saying? If you're not drinking their Kool-Aid and if you're not sitting down at their table, they overlook you until they need you. The question is, why Rhoda Young Live is not part of that program if it's for our community? Rhoda Young Live.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I agree with
and
you.
I want to say this before you go, Pastor. I'm going to always walk with this. Everybody loves Rhoda Young Live until she had to knock on your door. Until we meet again, we're so Barry or Randall. I'm Rhoda Young Live.
The people's pastor. I love you. Be blessed.
The people pastor. I love you as well, Pastor. Stay in touch. God bless you as well. Hey, from the top of your head to the tip of your toe.
To the sole of my feet, better than blessed. So undeserving of it, but God knew what I needed.
Come on, come through, Pastor.
All right, yeah.
Until we meet again. Guys, that was the people pastor from Portsmouth, Virginia. We are so thankful that he came here and spoke with us and enlightened us on some things that he was concerned about, and as well as many of the citizens of Portsmouth, Virginia, and the surrounding cities was concerned about. Pastor has shown us growth and maturity, that even though I am a reporter and I do have to report on him, that he don't hold no grudges against me when I do have to report on him. And that's my biggest thing, trying to balance being friends with people and being a reporter. It's not an easy job, but someone has to do it. Do you report on someone that you know, or do you keep their secrets? Or do you report the story that the community need to know, regardless of who they are? On Rhoda Young Live, well, all may not like me, but they will respect me. Don't matter if you can't pronounce my name correctly, long as you spell it right. Until we meet again, I'm Rhoda Young Live.